So thank you very much for coming in Paris for this conference. I just want to say some words about the general presentation of the program. As you have understood, this program is mainly focused on the question of silver monetary depreciation, but on the general point of view. I mean, silver, bimetallism, trade, exchange, question of mine, question of production of coins, question of use and disappearance of coins. This program is officially working since the 1st of January this year and will continue for 4 years, 4 or 5 years in general. We plan to organize the things with publications, meetings, conferences, website, but I just want to give you a general overview of the system and what we want to do. The DAMIN program, our program, is open this year. It's becoming an official program funded by the ANR, that is Agence Nationale de la Recherche, that is our national agency for research, and a part of the funds we can use is coming from ANR. Second sources of finance is the LabEx program that is directed by Professor Espagne, who introduced the conference. From this, in this LabEx, part of the funds is coming for the future IDEX, that is another kind of source for finance for the research. Another part of IDEX is going to the ENS. The École Normale Supérieure is this building where you are actually. A part of the ENS is sending money to our institution, that is our laboratory, our work. It's archaeology, it's the laboratory you have seen on the 3rd floor. The CNRS is also funding our work. It's a way to complete the sum and to give some possibilities. And our work is also helping and funding our program. It's a quite complicated situation, but it works. And that's the most important for us. You don't have to remember these details. Only one thing you have to know, it's work, and we can work. We have to work, and we will work. Why depreciation? During the complete 19th century, all the economists and historians and politicians thought that the main way to develop commerce and trade was to have a bimetallic system with gold and silver. It was the way to improve and to develop the trade and, between countries and inside the countries. Unfortunately, this system had some problems because there was a difference on the cost, the real cost, commercial cost of silver and gold, and the official relation between gold and silver with a monetary form was different from the official value of the silver and gold on the market. And it was a problem. It's impossible to continue to strike silver and gold coins when the value of the two metals was so different. It was the beginning of the crisis linked to this depreciation. And the first step was the complete victory of gold over silver. That means by step, all the countries shift from a bimetallist system to a monometallist system. This shift began in the 70s, 19th century, up to the First War. In France, we tried to keep the bimetallist system, but after the defeat in the Franco-Prussian War, the system moved completely to a gold system, like in England. So what we want to do, what we have to do, and what we will do. First, we want to analyze the bimetallic system to understand exactly what is, in fact, the first world global monetary system. It was the first very important attempt to build something international like euro actually. Second, to analyze the system of monetary union, Latin Union in the 19th century, this system linking France, Spain, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, and so on, and a system that gives the possibility to use coins from each country in all the countries, and official unions and unofficial unions, such as the yen in Japan. We want to analyze the consequences of depreciation of silver and its consequences on monetary system and economies. It's a very important problem, and it was a reason of the disappearance of the monetary union. We want to analyze what historians and economists were thinking about this question. We need to understand the reaction, but also the phenomenon, what appeared, how, when, and what people were thinking about this. What were the consequences from this shift from bimetallism to monometallism. And we want to analyze the question of circulation of gold and silver in the world. That's a very ambitious program, but we have 4 years of work. DAMIN will work in 3 directions. First one is republication of the main document. I gave you the first volume that is published this year on Japan. We want to give the possibility to everyone to have access to the basic documentation. International monetary conferences, national conferences, debates, reports, main document concerning minting and issuing coins. All these studies need to be either printed, either accessible on our website. Second point, we will publish new sources, statistics on coin production, monetary stock, change, trade, statistics about everything linked to the silver and gold problem, and we want to publish archives. There is a lot of documentation, especially in banks, concerning this question and this problem of bimetallism. And third, we will disseminate our result. Dissemination is a very important problem. We need to show what we are doing, why, how, and we need to explain to our colleagues what we are working and to explain what we are finding. We will have conferences. This one is the first one because it's a kickoff conference. We will have a website and we will produce videos. Conferences, I can tell you that the next one will be in Madrid in May next year in the Casa de Velázquez. Conferences, this is the first one, but the second one will be in May next year in Madrid. But we plan also to have conferences in Asia, I mean Japan, perhaps in Hong Kong or in Seoul. The website is open since the 1st of January. It's in construction, but you can find it, and we will add during this next month document, links, video, and so on. And the video of the conferences will be all put on the internet. It's important for people who are not in this room to follow and to be able to understand what we are doing. The website is on this address, and it will be accessible immediately without any kind of problem, and it will be developed in the next month. To republish, so republication of documents, report, and so on. A main part of the document will be published in the collection Moneta with a new group of books that are document and series on studies on the 19th century. It's a general title for different volumes. The first volumes will include monetary conferences. As you have seen in the paper, a lot, some of them are already published. We plan to publish in March the first 3 volumes concerning the general enquête sur la question monétaire, general research on the monetary question, published in France in the 60s of the 19th century. The first 3 volumes represent about 2,000 pages, and the next part, I mean the 3 last volumes will be published next year. It's about 3,000 pages too, with a lot of information, questions, inquiries, audition of persons, hearing of persons, the main historian, the main economist of the moment who gave their impression and analysis on the situation and monetary situation. Aside the general monetary conferences, we want to open different groups of documents, mainly focused on national problems. France, Japan, you have some, England, but also India, also Americas. All these second series of national series will be focused on documentation specific to a question. I think the Indian question of silver is very important to understand exactly what's happening even in China. And if we understand what is happening in China, we can understand what is happening in Japan. And if we can understand what is happening in Japan, we can understand what is happening in Mexico, in San Francisco. The first volume are already published. We decided to increase the speed, and when we have been sure to get this fund, we decided to publish the first volume of 2 volumes of international monetary conferences, but also different volume of national series. England, Japan, India, and Japan. This one is just published 2 days ago. We will have in few years a complete documentation on the question of silver, gold, monetary situation, economy in the 19th century. And this is a volume concerning France and the monetary conferences. What we want to do, what we will have to do, and what we will do. First, publication in periodical. All the paper related with question can be published everywhere. There is no problem to publish everywhere. You just have to mention that this publication is linked to this ANR, to this DAMIN, and to this question of to this LabX. We will participate to conferences. It's these conferences. Next one will be in Madrid, but also numismatic conferences, economic history conferences. We will meet, some of us, in Cape Town in South Africa in July to continue to work on different topics. We will publish. The possibilities is about 8 to 10 volumes each year. That means about 40, perhaps 50 volumes in 5 years. It means that we will have a complete new documentation available with studies, document, everything about this period. If we are able to do this, and there is no reason to be not able to do this, if we are doing this, we will produce in 5 years the most important documentation and the most important group of studies on this question of 19th century. And we will have one conference or one roundtable each year or each 18 months. The wish of these conferences is to make a point on what we are doing, what we have to do, what is done. These conferences will include all of us, but be free to invite everybody else. I mean, we are on the globalist studies. We are on the world study. We need to include people coming from Mexico, because Mexican dollars was the most important currency in Asia. We need to include people from San Francisco, because the mint of San Francisco was very important in Asia. We need to include people from Colombia, Peru, because the most important silver mine were in this region. We need to include people from England, because England was the first country to adopt the gold standard. We need to include people from Russia about this question, because Russia was an important country. We need to include people from India, because India, with silver and opium, was one of the most important countries for silver circulation. So we need to develop. This is the reason why the website, the video are very important to show, to explain, and to attract new scholars. We need to change the thing. We need, and we will. We will, because a team, we are actually one of the best teams we can have. The team will work. All of them you have worked, you have published before. So if we are continuing to work on this way, we will be the most important team on this question. So now this is a general presentation of our plan. This is a general presentation of a program. Now we have to work to publish, and I will give the possibility to open the first session. Joan Castañeda, if you want to chair.